rise to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Thursday, October 21st, 2021. It seems like every time we turn around, there is a new weather information on what could happen during the winter. Michael has that report.
Weather forecasters predict that the upcoming weather will include snowstorms and some winter mixes that turn from snow and hail to cold rain. A meteorologist says most areas of New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania should end up with normal to slightly above normal snowfall totals throughout the winter season. He also says that the patterns that are likely to play out during the winter months could bring a series of storms that produce a mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain, and plain rain.
President Joe Biden will be coming to New Jersey, and state Democrats are hoping his presence will inspire many people to support Governor Phil Murphy in the upcoming election. Cooper has the details.
President Joe Biden is returning to New Jersey on Monday, just 8 days before Governor Phil Murphy asks the voters for a second term on an official trip to tout his agenda. The White House said Wednesday that Biden will travel to Newark with discuss the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, which includes $12.3 billion for New Jersey, as well as funding to be tapped to build the long-awaited Gateway Tunnel under the Hudson River in the separate spending bill now being negotiated between progressive and moderate Democratic members of Congress. That's the legislation that New Jersey lawmakers want to use to address the Republican tax law's $10,000 cap on deducting state and local taxes, a provision that disproportionately hurt the state. New Jersey is one of the only two states holding elections this fall, the other being Virginia. No, that doesn't make sense. Both races are seen as part of referenda on Joe Biden's first year in office, and both Democrats and Republicans are testing themes they hope to use during the 2022 midterm elections. Murphy, who faces former Assembly member Jack Ciattarelli, is trying to become the first New Jersey Democrat re-elected as governor since Brendan Riney in 1977. The state did elect Democrats in consecutive governor elections in 2001 and 2005. Biden first came to the state in September to view the damage caused by remnants of Hurricane Ida. Vice President Kamala Harris was there October 8th. First Lady Joe Biden and other gentlemen Doug Enoff to also have visited New Jersey during the fall campaign.
Now it's time for announcements. Student Council's annual Halloween costume contest is on Friday, October 29th. Categories include the scariest, funniest, most original, and best group or couple. To enter the contest, you must come to room 110 during homeroom to have your picture taken. Seniors can come to room 110 when you arrive during first period. Prizes will be awarded in each category. Roselle Park High School presents Meet the Author, Allison Kimball, author of Strange Gods. Writing and workshop with the author, followed by Q&A about the publishing process. Friday, October 29th at 12:30 p.m. The Garden Club is hosting their annual pumpkin decorating contest. It's $10 to enter, and a pumpkin is provided. All clubs, staff, homerooms, and families are encouraged to join. Voting forms can be picked up in the main office. School picture retakes will take place on Friday, October 29th. Newspaper Club meeting, today at the Roselle Park Veterans Memorial Library. Please try to arrive by 3 p.m. If you have not yet submitted a permission slip to Ms. Robeson, please do so as soon as possible. If you need a permission slip, please see Ms. Robeson in room 2. French Club meeting, Friday, October 22nd after school, virtually. Any questions, ask Ms. Nesius. Art Club and National Art Honor Society meeting, every Friday after school at the public library with permission slips. For any questions, ask Ms. Scutro. The Borough of Roselle Park will be hosting a flu vaccine clinic today. The clinic is free for all residents in need of a flu vaccine. It will take place at the Casano Community Center from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Maybe it's a sign that the economy will be improving, or maybe it's just the same old thing. Amazon is now looking for a few thousand seasonal workers, and there are high hopes that many people will apply. Let's go to Michael for that report.
Amazon has 5,500 seasonal jobs open for those looking for work across New Jersey, the company announced this week. The new jobs are in addition to the 8,700 full and part-time operation jobs announced for the state earlier this year. The company said that all Amazon jobs in the U.S., including seasonal roles, have an average starting pay of $18 per hour and sign-on bonuses up to $3,000 and an additional $3 per hour depending on shifts in many locations. An Amazon spokeswoman stated that we are proud to be offering a huge range of full-time, part-time, and now seasonal jobs with great pay and benefits. Our seasonal hiring helps us deliver our promise to our customers while also providing flexibility to our full-time employees during busy work periods. Joining Amazon in one of our seasonal roles offers high-paying part-time work or a path to a full-time position, with benefits like our Career Choice program to help people advance their education and career with Amazon. Amazon said many of its seasonal employees return each holiday season every year to choose the part-time transition or to a full-time within the company.
Stay tuned. We will be right back. That's it for us today. Thanks for watching RPtv. Have a great day and stay tuned for CNN 10.
Thanks for taking 10 for CNN 10. I'm your host, Carl Azus. It's good to see you this Thursday. Somewhere just east of the capital of Haiti, 17 American missionaries are being held hostage. The Christian aid workers were kidnapped 6 days ago by a Haitian gang, and it's demanded $1 million in ransom for each of them, a total of $17 million for their release. The Americans range in age from 8 months to 48 years old. They were working with a charity organization called Christian Aid Ministries. It says their efforts included helping school children, distributing Bibles, providing medicine to clinics, giving food to the hungry, and teaching Haitian pastors. The missionaries were also helping in a rebuilding project for people who lost their homes in an earthquake that struck Haiti in August. Conditions there were deteriorating before that. The nation's president was assassinated in July. Throughout the summer, gang violence and crime spread across the capital of Port-au-Prince. Prices of goods have increased tremendously. The electricity often goes out. There are shortages of food and gasoline, and corruption is widespread throughout Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Kidnappings have been on the rise. Hundreds of abductions have been reported since the beginning of this year, including that of 5 priests and 2 nuns who were taken in the same area 6 months ago. They were later freed on ransom. Experts say strengthening gangs, an understaffed and overwhelmed security force, and corruption involving police and politicians are all factors in Haiti's rising crime. Christian Aid Ministries is asking people to pray for the missionaries' safety and release, as well as for the Haitian and American authorities helping in the process. Paying ransoms has brought a number of abducted people home, but some officials say it also has negative consequences for Haiti.
As the State Department and the FBI work behind the scenes to free the American missionaries and 5 children who were snatched in Haiti, a new warning about paying the $17 million ransom the gang behind the kidnapping is demanding.
It would be very unfortunate for the $17 million to be paid, because that would only reinforce the gang, and that would only finance further kidnappings. And so the solution is to short-term send experts, security experts to help the police in this particular situation.
The missionaries were believed to be staying at a compound in the village of Titayen outside Port-au-Prince. On Saturday, they were kidnapped by a group of armed men while driving back from visiting a nearby orphanage in Croix de Bouquet. Haitian officials say the gang 400 Mawozo is responsible. We took a ride in a helicopter today to get a better view of the area. I've been on many of these roads outside of Port-au-Prince 10 years ago, but it's very different now simply because of the kidnappings. It's not safe for a foreigner to drive on the roads. That's why we're in the helicopter. 400 Mawozo is Creole for out in the country, outside the city. And that's where this group comes from. An armed gang that has grown larger and larger and more powerful, particularly over the last several months since the assassination of the president of Haiti. They control the roads in many ways. The police need help. There's a real reluctance from government authorities, as well as many people who are part of the electorate, to have another peacekeeping force on the ground to restore order. But if they don't want that to happen, the question is, how can Haiti succeed without getting control of the situation on the ground?
10-second trivia. The term pod can be used to describe all of these animal groups except sharks, walruses, pelicans, or whales. A group of sharks may be called a school, frenzy, or shiver, but not typically a pod.
Thursday we had a mass or a megapod, and there were like 100+ whales in a vicinity, really tight-knit vicinity, that was feeding on bait fish, and a big smell, fish everywhere, whales busting up through it. this is something that was first witnessed last year. We've been witnessing whales feeding on the south coast for maybe like 18, 19 years, since I've been doing it, 19 years, but we've never witnessed them feeding in such huge aggregations before.
One of the 14 nations that shares a border with China is Laos. It's home to about 7.5 million people. Like China, Laos is a communist country, but unlike China, Laos has a youthful population. More than half the people who live there are under age 25. There's a new railway that connects the two nations. It runs from Kunming, a large city in southern China, to the Laotian capital of Vientiane. The track currently stretches just over 620 miles, but this is part of China's first international railway network, and that nation plans to eventually connect several Asian and African countries through the railway. When the China-Laos train is fully operational, and that's expected to happen by the end of this year, its top speed will be just under 100 miles per hour, and it could bring more Chinese tourists into Laos. China is the world's most populous country, and before COVID hit in 2019, a Laotian official says 760,000 Chinese tourists visited his nation, and that was an increase of 26% from the year before. You took the part that once was my heart. You took the best, so why not take the rest? Those are some of the lyrics to a classic American jazz song named All of Me, popularly performed by Billie Holiday. It's not to be confused with the song that John Legend released in 2013. Imagine singing that one live on the street when the legend himself showed up.
A street performer in Boston
You give me
was crooning All of Me when suddenly she got all of him, John Legend.
loves all of you.
The man whose song she was singing was standing right before her eyes, though at first
I saw a man with a trench coat and a mask step forward. I thought to myself, that looks quite like John Legend, but that couldn't be him.
But then he took his mask off.
I was absolutely stunned.
In town for a concert, Legend was outside Faneuil Hall with his wife Chrissy and his kids, watching. Part-time singer Radha Rao performed Legend's song, never dreaming he'd be there.
It's definitely a fan favorite, and it's a song I feel so emotional about.
She said her mind went blank, she was nervous, but she kept singing as he nodded encouragement. Anyone who watches The Voice might expect him to wheel around any moment, but when Radha finished,
That's a surprise.
Legend reached in his pocket for his wallet, walked over to Radha and gave her a tip and a hug, telling her the song was beautiful.
Give my all to you.
But how much of his all did he give? Could she tell us how big a tip?
I would love to, but I actually don't know.
She just put it in her tip box and continued her set. But the one thing she does know,
I did give it my all.
Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Easy to see how that could leave her head spinning. I mean, who knows what was going on in that beautiful mind? If she felt like the world was beating her down, John Legend really was around. The two of them in rhythm and blues just can't stop singing. I'm Carl Azus, and I'd like to thank all of you for watching. Shout out to our viewers at Foxborough High School in Foxborough, Massachusetts for subscribing and commenting on our YouTube channel. We'll see y'all tomorrow.